Transatlantic relations. The EPP-ED group proposes the creation of a transatlantic market between the European Union and the United States by 2015. Good news for European citizens as Parliament adopts legislation to curb the cost of cashless payments. Parliament approves the legislative package to enforce maritime safety and to avoid new Erika and Prestige disasters. Welcome to our programme. Ahead of the summit between the European Union and the United States in Washington, D.C. later this month, the European Parliament discussed the state of transatlantic relations.
Speaking in the plenary chamber, the chairman of the EPP-ED group, Joseph Daul, emphasized the necessity of closer economic cooperation.
The creation of a common transatlantic market by 2015 is one of our priorities. We have to reduce regulations which hinder trade between the two sides of the Atlantic, and we have to encourage competition and harmonization of technical norms. Let's give ourselves a roadmap with a precise timetable, with 2015 as the target date for a transatlantic market without barriers.
The partnership between Europe and America, Daul said, was based on dialogue and respect. As a sign of the strong relations with the United States, Mr. Daul suggested the President of the European Parliament invite the new Speaker of the House of Representatives to the Parliament. Mr. Daul also recalled that it was possible amongst friends to raise certain issues in the bilateral meetings.
I would like to underline my concern that stricter American border controls should not develop into hidden trade barriers. We have to be vigilant, but without undermining the trustworthiness of trade relations. In the same way, American legislation concerning private data leaves room for doubt regarding the provision of sufficient safeguards for the privacy and civil liberties of individuals. Europe is determined to fight against terrorism and organized crime, but this fight has to be founded on the right legal basis.
The EPP-ED group also tabled a resolution on the forthcoming summit with the US, which the Parliament voted on the same day as the debate. The resolution emphasizes that Europe and America have to work together on a number of issues, such as facilitating negotiations in the Middle East between Israelis and Palestinians, and continuing their cooperation to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. Whilst it underlines the importance of the fight against terrorism, the resolution also expresses concern that the existence of the Guantanamo Bay Detention Center continues to send out a negative signal in terms of achieving this aim.
5 years ago, euro notes and coins were introduced, but so far we haven't had common rules for cashless payments. This is now set to change, and payments will become cheaper and easier for European citizens, thanks to an EPP-ED report adopted by the European Parliament.
French MEP Jean-Paul Gauzès has been the driving force in the European Parliament to promote a single European payment area, clarifying the rules and regulations for cashless payments. Soon, common rules will come into force, enabling companies to provide cheap methods of payments for customers.
The compromise text facilitates the harmonization of payment systems, which at present are strictly national. This concerns not only cross-border payments, which represent less than 5% of payments, but also all payments carried out in EU territory. Despite its very technical aspect, this text has a clear political scope. It improves relations between consumers and payment service providers and contributes to the Lisbon strategy.
Under the new common European rules, payments will have to be carried out faster, and payment service providers must inform customers of the details of their transactions, so as to make the entire process safer and more efficient. Reliability for customers is obviously important in order for new and improved methods of cashless payments to expand. The more diverse the methods of payment, the greater the need for customer reassurance. You don't only use the notes and coins in your pocket. Credit and debit cards are in common use all over the world. Nowadays, you can use your telephone for much more than calling friends. Payment of parking fees and bus tickets by SMS is already becoming more popular. What will be the next means for paying your bills?
2 EPP-ED reports to improve safety at sea were adopted this week. Dominique Vlasto succeeded in extending ship inspections, and Luis de Grandes Pascual pushed through improved control systems used by inspection bodies.
In the aftermath of the oil tanker accidents Erika in 1999 and Prestige in 2002, safety at sea has become a priority for all European citizens. Oil tanker accidents often cause pollution of the waters and the coastline. Sea animals are killed and sections of landscape are destroyed for decades. Passenger ships risk causing catastrophes and many casualties if they do not meet up-to-date safety standards. To improve maritime safety, current EU legislation is being enhanced and enforced. This week, the European Parliament has debated and endorsed a package of new measures. A report by EPP-ED member Dominique Flasto tightens the surveillance of ships. This is done in two ways. Firstly, all EU countries with ports have to carry out on-board inspections of ships. Secondly, higher-risk ships should be particularly targeted. These are identified through risk profiles.
This directive, on which we have worked since 2001, has allowed us to impose on the Member States the obligation to inspect a quarter of ships in stopover at their ports. We have to ensure that these inspections target the most dangerous vessels. I would like us to be clear. We want shipping companies to respect European regulations, because today some of them are too negligent.
The actual bodies that carry out inspections, checking and certifying ships are covered by the report of EPP-ED member Luis de Grandes Pascual. His report strengthens the control systems of such recognized organizations. The common EU standards for recognition are streamlined and simplified. This will end the current confusing system of different levels of recognition.
An evaluation carried out by the Commission for over the past 6 months has detected that serious deficiencies continue in the inspection process and certification of the safety of the world fleet. To cope with this problem, it is our duty to enhance the performance of the certifications companies. We have succeeded to reinforce the surveillance mechanisms of recognized organizations with the creation of an independent evaluation committee, which will have lasting competencies and autonomy of action.
This programme was brought to you by the press service of the EPP-ED Group, the largest political group in Parliament, with members from all 27 countries of the Union. See you again next month.